Right, we begin this broadcast with some breaking news coming in from Sri Lanka. An emergency has now been declared by President Gotabaya Rajapaksa, and this is in order to maintain law and order in the island nation, which has been battling a crippling economic crisis. It's important to note that this is the second time that an emergency has been declared in the country. The first time was in April this year. All this comes as reports say that President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has asked the Prime Minister MAHINDA to step down. The request came at a special cabinet meeting in Colombo. He was supposedly asked to make way for an interim Prime Minister. The senior Rajapaksa had initially resisted calls from the opposition to step down, but now it seems that the public pressure is getting to the president. Remember, MAHINDA is the elder brother of President Gotabaya Rajapaksa. MAHINDA himself served as the president of Sri Lanka from 2005 till 2015. Earlier today, the deputy speaker of Sri Lanka's parliament also stepped down. His resignation came just hours after his re-election on Thursday. Now, for more details on what's happening in Sri Lanka, our correspondent Dasuni Athara is now joining us live from Colombo on the phone lines. Dasuni, thanks so much for joining us. Tell us about this latest development. Another emergency imposed after it was earlier imposed in April. This is the second time that's been done. We are seeing protests on the streets as the economic crisis in Sri Lanka takes center stage amid the political turmoil that is also ongoing. Tell us more.
Well, yes, Priyanka, just a few moments ago, the President's Media Division did confirm that emergency law will be coming into effect island-wide from midnight tonight. Now, like you rightfully mentioned, the emergency law was imposed previously on the 2nd of April when the political crisis and Sri Lanka's economic crisis was just turning into an interesting turn, if I may say so. It is pretty much interesting to note that this is happening for the second time, given that the first time this was imposed, this was highly ineffective, and this was withdrawn within a matter of days, which was also followed by a social media ban, which was then again revoked as well because it turned out to be highly inefficient and ineffective. Now, what we know, when an emergency law is imposed in a country, it gives security officials sweeping powers to arrest and detain individuals. So the main group that might be affected by this emergency law right now might be the protesters who have been camping outside many protest sites, especially in Colombo and many other areas. And given the fact that today saw one of the largest hartals or strikes that were posed island-wide, it will be interesting to see the fate of these protesters, especially those who have camped outside various locations for the past month, and what happens to them.
Right. Dasuni, tell us a little bit about the recent political developments. Sources have now said that the president has himself asked the Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa to resign. What lies ahead for the political upheaval in Sri Lanka, and what will it mean for the economic crisis?
Well, like we've been reporting for the past few weeks, it is a well-known fact that on several occasions we did report that President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has in fact asked the Premier to resign, but Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa has been adamant through and through, saying that he will not resign. And that is exactly what happened this evening as well, where multiple sources, including those who were at the cabinet meeting, were confident that President Gotabaya Rajapaksa did in fact request his elder brother, that is Mahinda Rajapaksa, who is the Prime Minister of Sri Lanka, to resign. However, moments later, this news was spread across all news outlets. It was once again rejected by the Prime Minister's media office, stating that the Prime Minister will not be resigning, following which a few hours later, we are now imposed with an emergency law which will come into effect at midnight. Now, how this might affect or even improve Sri Lanka's ongoing economic and political crisis is yet to be seen. So this is all very developing stories here right now, Priyanka.
Right. Dasuni, thanks so much for bringing us the latest from Sri Lanka. Thanks for joining us on WION at this hour. WION World is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.